What's up, Rebel Gang? Welcome back to another video. I'm back again with
Cherishing Flo.
And today we are doing a story time. This story time, as you can tell by the title, my best friend, Cherishing Flo, caught my boyfriend cheating.
Wow, like that title alone is like so like, cause when we said it, when we talked about doing it and I said the title, like I said that and we were like,
like that's a video I would click on if I was like scrolling through.
It's such a
YouTube,
juicy title, and it's I would love to say it was clickbait, but like it's not.
Like it's not clickbait. Like it's true. It's real life. It happened. I'm not gonna go into detail of like all of the background because that would take forever. Like there would be part 3, 4, and 5 to this video.
And I've seen those, and while they juicy, it's too much time.
It's too much. So we're gonna go back, and I'm gonna skip through until we get to that point. We're gonna go back to 2016. We got together. We were dating. All of 2016 was fine. Jump to 2017. 2017 February. I think we broke up in February. Over some foolishness. I don't know what it was. He was acting distant. He didn't want to tell me why. We decided it was best to break up. So I noticed on Twitter he started talking to this girl. We're gonna name her Patrice. He started talking to Patrice on Twitter and I peeped it and then I didn't say nothing because we had broken up. I really didn't care. So a few months later we got back together. I think it was April we got back together. Everything seemed normal. In June, same year, 2017, I got a message from Patrice talking about how she was in a relationship with him for 4 months or whatever. Apparently he started dating her in February and then never broke up with her, but then got with me again in April. We did not break up in June. We didn't break up until July. So we broke up in July. I don't know what happened between there, but we ended up getting back together in September. This is around the same time that I rekindled friendship between me and Ricky. Yeah. And so we were back, like things just clicked again. You guys don't know that person.
Yeah, that story is something else.
Yeah. Like there's stories everywhere. But we had clicked again, just like there was no break in the friendship. And so we were back talking or whatever. She was friends with, what did we say his name was gonna be? Marcus. She was friends with Marcus, my boyfriend at the time. And
now, my disclaimer, me and him were friends the whole time that all of this was happening. Like he and me were very, very close. Like he was one of my best friends too. And when he was dating her and the other girl, I knew that I found out when they broke up. He told me about that, and then he was dating the other girl, and he never told me when her and him got back together until he got caught. And then the other girl had messaged me, told me to call her or something like that, and I asked him like, why is she telling me to call her? Like, what's up? And then that's when he told me. I did. Oh, I can't do that. Like, I can't do the mimicking because then people will really. I do that all the time, but I can't do that here. But he was like, he said I messed up and told me that he had been with both of them and other stuff. So yeah, go ahead.
So September, October, everything was fine, I thought. And then November, okay, so Marcus's roommate is her best friend.
Yeah, that's my best friend.
Guy friend.
Yeah, guy friend. I have to throw that in there. Like
So that was also her best friend, and she was going to visit him for a weekend or whatever. And
I
so
wasn't visiting him. I might watch this video. I was just in town, and I was hanging out
with her friends, just visiting people. And so she was at their house, and she just, I don't know what happened that Saturday, but I was talking to her all day. And I was talking to Marcus all day until it reached a certain time of night and everybody stopped talking to me. I was getting very upset. Like my best friend wasn't talking to me. My boyfriend wasn't talking to me. I was this close to messaging her male best friend, asking him what was going on because they were all in the same area. And so once I wasn't getting a reply from anybody, I had really thought about just taking a surprise trip over to his house to see, you know, what niggas was doing, because nobody was responding. And I was really thinking about it because the next day I didn't have to go to work. Like, I was basically free for the weekend. I was like, I'm gonna do this pop-up or whatever. And then I decided not to, and I just went to sleep. Next morning, I woke up, still hadn't really heard from him. He sent me like a good morning message or something. But I texted her and I was like, hey, have you heard from Marcus? And she was like, yes, he's standing right in front of me. And I was like, okay, well, why is he not messaging? Like, why is he not calling me or texting me like he always does? And she was like, you need to talk to him. And I was like, okay, but why? Like, what's going on? She's like, I'm not telling you. You need to talk to him. And so I start blowing his phone up. She was like, I would be so satisfied.
I didn't say that. I was real petty that night. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, go ahead.
She said, I would be so satisfied if your name were to pop up on his phone right now. And she put right now. And
like I was saying, right now. Like it was really important that at that second she called him.
And so I called him. He didn't answer. I called him again. He ignored the call because it went to voicemail. And so I called again. He didn't answer. I texted him. He wasn't texting back. And I knew that he was either near his phone or something because she was standing in front of him. And so I knew he wasn't asleep. I knew he wasn't like at work or anything. So I was calling, texting back and forth. And when he finally did answer the phone, I could tell that there was like something going on, but I didn't know. But I had a feeling because stuff had gone on in our relationship.
Had a feeling. This girl texted me and was like, he cheated on me again, didn't he?
Like, I went straight to the point. I was like, he cheated on me, didn't he? Or again, because I knew he did it before.
And I was like, I said, talk to him.
Like, she wasn't telling me any, like, ooh, I was mad. I was mad because she wasn't telling me anything. But she was giving him the chance to tell me himself. And when I finally talked to him, he was just like, what do you want? And I was like, my boyfriend? Like, what do you mean? And he was like, I know Ricky already told you. And I was like, she didn't tell me anything. And he was like, yeah, she probably did because y'all are best friends and y'all talk. And I know she talked to you this morning or whatever.
Also, disclaimer, is it me or like was he really weird about us being so close towards the end of things? Like he was so strange about it. Like we couldn't be best friends.
When we weren't friends, he was always pushing me.
It. Like, would you ever consider talking to? You
can't do that.
I'm sorry. You were getting. He was always like, would you ever consider talking to? He was always asking me questions like that. Like he was trying to get us to be friends again. And then when we were, it was like.
Yeah. So I don't know. He probably felt some type of way, but I don't know. So we finally talked about it, and he was trying to tell me that I already knew what happened. But in reality, I had no idea what happened. I just assumed. But he was really making me come to my own conclusions, and my own conclusions seemed to be right. But he was trying to make me feel like I was stupid. So I'm going to let her tell her side, because she was the one who actually caught everything from that Saturday night until Sunday or whatever.
So like she said, I had been talking to her the whole day. I always talk to her. So I was hanging out with my friend, my guy friend, and we were like hanging out or whatever. He told Marcus that we were coming over. Like he was like, I'm coming back home and Ricky's coming with me. And so he knew I was coming. We need a name for the girl.
Alyssa.
So when I get there, I walk in, I go into my friend's room, we chilling, whatever. And out comes Alyssa. Now, Alyssa is somebody who I knew since high school. Like, we went to middle school together, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, 8th grade. We were just the last year of middle school. And then we were, like, really cool freshman year of high school. Like, she was like, Ricky, I was like, Alyssa, like, I'm surprised because she's walking out of Marcus's room. So I'm just like, hey, what's up, girl? Like, we talking or whatever. We joking, we laughing. Everything's ha, 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 kiki. So we go, everybody ends up moving the party into Marcus's room. Because Marcus is my friend, too. We real close, we real tight or whatever. So when I walked in the room, Marcus was sitting on the floor on the phone, and I was like, yo, you talking to Tia? And I said that, and he didn't even look at me at first. And I was like, you talking to Tia? I thought like he was like not paying attention to me because, you know, he all booed up on the phone or something. That's where my mind is. I'm not thinking anything is going on because I know Alyssa, I know him. I'm thinking that she's just a friend. Now, when I thought about it, I was kind of like, now, I thought like at the worst, he didn't tell her that he was inviting a friend over that was a female, but I still thought it was just, you know, innocent. So I'm sitting there just like, okay, whatever. We all laughing, we joking, there's alcohol involved. I'm not drinking, but just about everybody else is. And so we're in the room, and at first I'm sitting on the floor, and then I noticed some things. Like, I peeped that Alyssa and Marcus seemed to be a little comfortable. And I was like, I looked like, that looked a little strange. Like, but I didn't say anything. I looked at my friend, and my friend was just like he looked like he was trying so hard not to be involved. I felt so bad for him. He was trying so hard not to be involved. He was just like looking away and stuff. And then something happened. We all said we wanted some lemon pepper wings, and Marcus makes food sometimes. And actually, now that I think about it, when I used to go to his house, every time I went to his house, he made me something. So yeah, he made me something to eat. So he was going downstairs to make some lemon pepper wings. And when he went downstairs, I'm sitting on the bed, I'm chilling, we all talking and everything. And then Alyssa goes, you dated Marcus, right? Oh, disclaimer, we did. I forgot, disclaimer, me and Marcus dated for like a month. Yeah, it was literally like super quick. It was like, you know, we were friends. We thought we'd try to be more. That didn't work and we stopped. It wasn't like a serious thing. So to me, it wasn't a serious thing. So we went to, so anyway, he's down there and she's like, you dated Marcus? I said, yeah, for a little while. And then she said, what kind of boyfriend is he? And I was like, why? Like, and when I said it, I realized it came off a little hostile, but it's like my mind went like, why you want to know that? Like, I said, why? She said, oh, you know, I just wonder. And you could tell, like, the way she was talking about it, she was a little nervous, she was blushing and stuff. And I was like, I said, something going on with you and what's going on? And she was like, oh, I mean, you know, da-da-da-da. And then finally, I look at my friend, and I'm like, because I know that if this was going on, then he knows. So I'm looking at him like, and he's like, stop. That's all he said. He's like, stop. And I said, all right. So I go downstairs, and I'm like, Marcus, what's going on? And he was like, nothing. I was downstairs. He was like, nothing. I'm just making the lemon pepper wings. And I was like, no. What's going on? What's up with you and Alyssa? And then he gave me this little smile. He's like, nothing. And I was like, no. No, it's not nothing. Why she telling me? He was like, we're not together. And I was like, but something is going on. Like, are y'all talking? Y'all flirting? Like, what's up? And he was just like, he said nothing. Now, I knew he was lying, but at the same time, I was like, he's my friend. And I didn't want for what I knew to be true. So I was like, okay, whatever. So then I started to get irritated because as the night went on, more signs started leading towards them being more than friends. And so then I started throwing slick shots and being petty. Because I am like, and I knew, and I did it in a way where I know only the people who knows what he's doing would understand what I'm saying. And like one time we were like, at some point we were downstairs. Everybody's like, we was having a good old time. People was cracking up, laughing, joking. Now Marcus is a very, very funny guy. And we was all laughing. We was cracking up. And Alyssa was like, somebody was like, oh, such and such at the place that he worked. And then somebody said, who's such and such? And then what was her name? I don't remember her name. They were like, who's such and such? And then Alyssa was like, yeah, Marcus, who's such and such? Like, she was getting an attitude. And I was like, yeah, Marcus, who's such and such? I was like, yeah. She was like, you talking to somebody else? I said, yeah, Marcus, you talking to somebody else? I started being real extra about it. And Marcus was like, looking at me like he was getting mad because he knew I was throwing petty shots at him the whole night. And I like, a part of me would love to say that I feel bad, but I don't. I was like, you're doing something messed up, so yeah, I'm gonna make you feel uncomfortable about it. Like, I was like, you're not gonna do this and be comfy. Like, I was like, no. I was like, he lucky I don't just out him right now. Like, I wanted to I felt bad because I wanted to pull Alyssa because she was my friend too. I wanted to pull her to the side and be like, yo, this ain't the one for you. He got a girlfriend, whatever. But I didn't want to be involved. I didn't even want to know. I was mad that I knew. So finally, it was like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And it was, at some point, we were upstairs. We were sitting on the floor upstairs. And he was like, Ricky, if there's something that you got to say, then go ahead and just say it. And I was like, oh, you want to do this? Like, I was like, so you for real? You want to do this? You want to go back and forth? Even though you know what you're doing, you want to come here? He's like, well, if you got something to say. And he did this in front of everybody. Because I swear to God, it seemed like when he got in front of people, he would get real brave with the stuff that he was saying. He'd get bold. Like, I was like, oh, you want to... I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna leave it alone because once again, I'm not the type of person. I didn't want to out him, so I was just like, we cool. So then I wait until she went downstairs or something. Like she was sick. Like she drank too much or something. And then at some point she was upstairs and we were downstairs. I don't remember what happened in between time. We were downstairs and I was asking about it. I was like, why are you doing this to Tia? I need to understand. Why are you doing this? And he was like trying to explain his side. He had a whole bunch of different stuff going on. First he talked around the subject. Like he wasn't actually talking about what he was doing. Talking about his personal issues and everything. I'm listening because I'm his friend. So we're having this conversation. It's 2:00 in the morning. And Alyssa's upstairs by herself in his room. And she's drunk. So she comes downstairs and she's like putting on her shoes. And we could tell she mad because she's stomping while she's doing it. And I was like, because I realized it looked a little bad because she doesn't know me and his history. She just know that we dated for a brief second and then we downstairs by ourselves at 2:00 in the morning. I could see how that looked a little funny. So she came downstairs putting on her shoes. He was like, you got a ride? She said, mm-hmm. And then he said something and she was like, oh, you something else. Or he was like, oh, you funny, or you a character or something. So then he follows up behind her. They go upstairs. I'm sitting in the kitchen by myself and I hear yelling. But I didn't know it was them at first. I just heard because it sounded insane. It was like, nah, 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 and I, like, you don't hear exactly, I didn't hear what was being said. And so I texted my friend, because he was upstairs in his room. And I was like, yo, is somebody yelling? He was like, yeah. I said, is it them? And he was like, yep. I said, oh. He's like, where are you? I was like, I'm downstairs. And he was like, I was like, dang. So then she come downstairs and he was like, you're really overreacting. She was like, yeah, let you tell it. I remember that part perfectly because this is when he got a little crazy on me. And she said, yeah, let you tell it. He leave. And she slammed the door and he goes, I do not exaggerate when I do what I'm about to do. This is what he did. He came back in and he said, ah, ah, and then punched the wall. And I'm sitting in the kitchen like, I didn't know that. He did the Super Saiyan scream. Like his hands was in this position and he screamed twice. And I was scared. At that moment for like 0.2 seconds, I was scared. Not because he's scary, because he's not. But because he looked a little crazy. He looked Caucasian crazy for that minute. I was like, oh wow. I'm sitting there looking like, why are you so upset? And what was killing me was how calm he was up to that point. Because even when he said, you're kind of overreacting, like he was real soft about it. Like he was like, you're kind of overreacting. As soon as she slammed the door, he just fly off the handle and he punched the wall. Like anybody who saw afterwards, there was a thing in the wall that he had to pay for. Like it was bad. And I'm sitting there looking like, and then he came back in there after that. He went upstairs, he started making, I don't know what he was doing upstairs. He made noise though while he was up there. And then he came back downstairs, sat on the counter, and blood was dripping from his knuckles. And he looked at me, he was like, you were saying? And I was like, oh heck. I was like, man, if you don't, I was like, you're not about to just slide past that. Like you didn't just do what you just did. Like we not about to pretend like that didn't just happen. So I was like, let's go upstairs and do something about your knuckles because it was bleeding or whatever. So then he's talking to me. And he's explaining his side or whatever. And I don't remember, he didn't really have an excuse for it. He was just kind of like, he's going through a lot. And I kept saying, I was like, you messing up. You being weird. I was like, this is not, like, is this like you? Like, I'm thinking, I was like, this is not like you. You doing a whole lot of messed up stuff. We ended up going upstairs to his room. I guess because he was starting to get tired. And he literally, I listened to him talk until he fell asleep. Like, he fell asleep talking. As he was talking, he just drifted off to sleep. And at first I waited a second because sometimes he falls asleep and he wakes up and continues talking. And so I was like, so I waited. And one time he did. He woke up and he continued and I was like, I just let it continue. Pretended like he didn't just fall asleep for 5 minutes. And then he fell asleep and he didn't wake back up. And the sun was coming up. So I went to the room and went to sleep because I actually had to leave the next morning because my friend was in the military and me and our mutual friend that we talked about in the last story time that's on my channel. She was coming to get me so we could go send these letters out. So then the next morning she comes and I'm getting ready to go to, by the way, like I'm in the room and there's my friend, my guy friend, but there's also a girl in there too, like his friend or whatever. So anyway, so we're about to leave and so I remember that I left my scarf in Marcus's room. So I go into Marcus's room and there's Alyssa laying in the bed with him with her shirt off. And I was like, look, I'm in the room like, what the what? I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say because she was gone when I went to sleep. Like, so I was like, what's going on? So I'm just like, so I get my stuff. I just get my scarf and I walked out and I was like, all right then. So I went about my business. And then it wasn't until I came back that I started looking at my phone and answering her text messages. And when I answered it, when I came back, we were in the kitchen, and he was in the kitchen, and so was Alyssa, and they were next to each other. And so I was saying, call right now, because Alyssa was right there. And I wanted her to call, and Alyssa be like, who is that? I wanted that conversation to take place so bad. I said, oh my God, call right now. But he wouldn't even look at his phone. He did it to where she wouldn't have seen who was calling. And I was like...
And when I tell y'all, I have never blown up somebody like this before. I was blowing him up, calling back to back, texting back to back. His phone probably looked like it had Tourette's the way that I was calling. It was a lot. So he had to ignore me. I don't know how long he ignored me.
After that, though, I was pretty much done with the situation. She called me. When he finally told her, whatever it is he told her, she called me. And we were all sitting at a Denny's. It was me and 3 other friends, including my guy friend and his friend and our mutual friend. And we were all at Denny's together eating breakfast, enjoying ourselves. She calls me and she tells me what he said. So I'm sitting there trying to figure out what he said, because now that he's told her, we can talk about it. Now that he's told her, I was like, all right. So I was like, so girl, let me tell you about this foolishness, because at this point, she already knows. So I was like, okay, now we can talk about it. I can tell you what's going on, how I feel.
But then, come to find out, while she's talking to me, telling me stuff, it's night and day of what.
Yeah, because apparently what he told her wasn't even what was going on. And so when I'm telling her, I'm thinking that I'm telling her stuff she already knows.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what?
And she's like, oh, and I'm just like, I thought you said he told you.
You told me something, but he didn't tell me that.
I'm sitting there just oh. So I'm like, so it turns out that I ended up telling her anyway, because he didn't tell her what actually happened. So, and he's telling me, he texted me, he was like, you already told her anyway. And he asked me, trying to figure out what I did tell her. I was like, I didn't tell her anything.
She literally told me.
You need to
nothing.
be a man. And I told him himself, you're going to have to tell her. I was like, first of all, I'm not going to just let her go on being in the dark about you doing her dirty. You was laying in that bed with that girl, she ain't had no shirt on. That alone is enough. That is enough right there.
She shouldn't have been at the house at all.
I was like, and clearly she don't know you got a girlfriend. She don't. And so the whole time we're just so I was like, you need to tell her. You need to be a man. You need to be a big little man and tell her what's up. That's what needs to happen.
Big little man.
And, and I told him, I was like, I'm very disappointed in you. That's all I was saying, basically. I was like, I'm very disappointed in you. At that time, I was still cool with him. He was my friend. I was just really mad at him. I was like, I'm mad at you for this. Plus, you put me in that awkward position. You knew I was coming. You know she my friend. And he knew that I knew the girl in the high school. I was like, I know everybody involved. And you put me in this really awkward, strange situation where I don't know what to do. I was like, that's not cool, bro. That's not cool. So I was really irritated about that. And then, but, I wasn't going to stop being friends with him at this juncture. But then more things happened.
Yeah, a lot more stuff happened after that. We're not gonna put everybody's business
we're not gonna put everybody's business out there.
But his roommate, her best friend, ended up, moving along with his life after some stuff went down.
Yeah, after some stuff went down. And I basically just decided that if I kept being his friend, I was gonna be the next person who he did wrong, because he was doing it to her, then he did it to him, and I'm sitting there like, oh shit, I'm not about to put myself on the target list. I'm through. I was like, and I didn't even have any malice or anything towards him necessarily. I was extremely disappointed because disappointed in him. Yeah, disappointed in him. Because anybody who knows me knows that I always thought very highly of him as far as his maturity and a whole bunch of stuff that I thought he had. I'm sitting there thinking he's mature. I was just very sad. I was like, why would you do this? I don't understand. I'm confused. But after that, I just pretty much decided I was going to be done with the situation. And I was like, I said, I just think that, and it wasn't even like I just said I was going to cut him off. Because I still had his number in my phone. I didn't block him or anything, but I wasn't gonna be talking to him. It wasn't gonna be we was gonna be conversing, especially since he hurt both my friends. Back to back in a couple nights span. I was like, I'm through. I can't do this no more. Cause something wrong with you. You don't seem like a good person to me anymore. That was the issue. I was like, you're not seeming like a good person to me anymore, and I really just don't need that negative energy in my life. So you do you be great.
So she stopped being friends with him. Her best friend stopped being friends with him. And for a second, I wasn't really talking to him, but I was still kind of talking to him. And then somewhere along the lines of me being stupid, I got back with him. That was like December.
She didn't tell me. Like, I want y'all to know. She didn't tell me about this. I had no idea until they broke up again.
Yeah, we broke up again, I think in January?
It was the next year.
Yeah, January 2018. We broke up again. I don't know what for, but we broke up again.
I know what for.
You know?
You remember, because when you texted me, you was mad. Like, that's what the whole you and him, when that happened, that whole situation with the other person moving into the place.
No, that wasn't
when y'all broke up?
No. I mean, we broke up in January, yes, but then we got back together.
After she moved into the place?
No, she didn't move until April.
Oh.
Yeah, so in January, somewhere around there, we broke up again, and then I don't know how, got back together. And then in April, he randomly just decided to tell me that Patrice moved into his house with, you know, her family.
And if we didn't, I don't know if y'all remember who Patrice is. Patrice was the original girl.
Right, the original
the first time.
Yeah, that he was in a relationship with. So he told me that Patrice and her family had moved in and he was trying to help them get on their feet or whatever. That for me was the very last straw. And because I feel like I put up with a lot. I put up with a whole lot in that relationship. And yeah, I think it was April 10th, April 9th, April 10th.
One of there, because I remember she was pissed when she texted me. She was like, I'm about to go down there. I said, well, you go pick me up before you head
She was like, go slide through Birmingham.
Like, don't go by yourself. If you gonna go to jail, don't go alone. Yeah. Like, I said, we got this. It's okay. You my friend. I'm not gonna let you go by yourself.
It was a mess. And so that was it for me. That was the last straw. And I don't know if you guys remember the video that I did. I think it was last April. I think it was April or May. I posted this video after I cut my hair, and I was talking about cutting off your dead ends and moving on with life. And I said I wouldn't put the story, or I said I wasn't gonna put the story out there then. But this is a story. This is everything that I was talking about in that video.
Has passed.
Yeah, it's been almost a year.
Should be upset. It's finished. It's in the past. It's over with. It's done.
Right, and like me and Marcus are cool now. Everything's fine.
And he's cool. Like, I think everybody's pretty much talking to him but me.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm not talking to him, like I'm ignoring him. It's nothing like that. We just don't speak to each other. That's all it is.
But yeah, Marcus is cool with her friend, her best friend.
Yeah, they made up, everything, they, was grown people about the situation and moved on with it. And like I said, like, there's no, like, beef between me and him. We just don't talk to each other. That's pretty much all it is. So, I mean, like, at that time, I'm not gonna lie, there was probably beef for a while because I said some real rude things to him when I found out about everything, because I was really irritated. Like, we not gonna put that story out there, but I was really irritated that during a certain point, and I did say some really rude things. I don't feel bad about it because I really feel like I didn't say anything that was a lie. But I do feel like there was probably animosity at that time. But at this point, I'm not mad about it anymore, and he ain't do nothing to me, so. Like, I was like, so it's whatever. But everybody's, living their life. We've all moved on. Everybody's happy now. Everybody's doing their,
Like, nobody's mad anymore. I'm not mad anymore. Like, if I was still mad, I wouldn't be friends with him again.
Yeah, nobody's upset. We've all moved on. Right. But that was a very interesting situation to have taken place. And it was crazy. And it was probably one of the craziest situations that I've actually been in that didn't involve me. Like, I'm sitting there thinking, like, why am I even in this? I don't even, like, I told him, I was like, I don't even want to know. Like, you are not even a good cheater because you did it in front of our best friend. Like, you're a bad cheater. You're not good at it.
And then for me, it was, I have never been in a relationship like that. Like, where all that stuff went down, back to back. Well, it seemed like it was, even though maybe it was like months apart, it seemed like everything was happening back to back. Because this bad stuff would happen, we would get over it.
Then you gotta work back to trust.
Right, and then after we get back to that level, some more stuff would go down, and then we have to backtrack and go back. Like, it was a whole lot. And it's all over with now. But
hallelujah.
That was a crazy time. I'm gonna link that video in a card. Like, I don't know which side it's gonna come. It's gonna be up there. It's gonna slide across the top. So click on that video and go watch the aftermath. That was like fresh after it happened, after I got my head right. Like, I didn't talk to him for like 3 months. And so that was during a time when I felt so free. I'm not gonna go into all that, but
it was great. I was happy when it was finally over with. Because when she got back with him, she didn't tell me she got back with him, but I knew. Cause she's my best friend. Like, I knew. And I knew that there were certain times that she, like, would not talk to me intentionally because she was with him. Like, I was like, I ain't stupid. I know what you're doing. Like, I said it to my boyfriend. I was like, she back with him. He was like, wait, that's how I could tell the way she talked. I was like, but I ain't say nothing because she knows me. Like, I try my best not to get in the business. Like, if necessary, I'll give my little take. But then I'll be like,
at the same time, like, you're not gonna say anything unless I say something about it. Like, she's not gonna be the one to bring it up, be like, hey, you, like,
exactly. Like, I knew they was together, but I was just like, and I had my emotions about it. But I was also like, that's her life. She grown. She gonna make her own decisions. That's how I am with most people. Like, I will, if you talking about it, then I'll be like, well.
Right, she'll say something then, but she not just.
But if not, I'm not going to butt into your business because I'm kind of like that vice versa. Like, I really don't like, if I ain't say nothing to you about it, mind your business. Like, that's pretty much how I am. Like, I'm like, don't say nothing to me about it if I didn't say nothing to you about it. So I'm the same kind of respect, I guess, I feel like goes into that. But now, and then when it was over, I was like, thank the Lord. I was like, because in all honesty, I felt like he, as a person, was better as a friend than as a boyfriend. That was my opinion, especially when it came. I was like, I said, y'all were fine when you were friends and there was no romantics attached. So I think that's how it should stay. That's how it needed to be. And since they've been friends, ain't been no problems. Like,
there's been no drama.
Like, it's been all good. I was like, so, I feel like, the friendship, keeping that there is fine. But more than that, it just wasn't worth it. Yeah.
So that's the story of my best friend catching my boyfriend cheating, who is now ex-boyfriend. And
yeah. Comment down your thoughts below.
Yeah, I really want to know what people are thinking.
She put a poll on Twitter to ask if you guys even wanted her to tell the story, and
it hasn't even been up for 24 hours.
And there was like almost 100. Like, it was like,
was it like 80 something?
Yeah, 80 something people when we decided to go ahead and do it.
Yeah. And the poll wasn't even finished. Like, the time for it wasn't even
there was
finished.
like 82% of y'all. Yeah, 82% said, yeah, tell the story.
Yeah, so 82% of y'all need to comment.
Yeah, it
below.
was near 100 votes, I think.
Yeah.
Right? And so I was like,
who knows what it is now? Because the poll is still not over.
Yeah.
As we're recording this, it's not over.
Yeah, we were just like, okay, well, clearly the yeses win. So we just decided to go ahead and get it done.
For some reason, y'all people like drama.
Yeah.
Y'all really like
I know, because on my channel, when we was talking about my ex-boyfriend on there, boy, that was one of my most popular videos, like, off the bat. And I was like, dang.
Yeah, y'all need to go check out that video. I'm going to link that one down there. But
I hope nobody guesses who again, like they did last time. Tell us who. Y'all always want somebody to expose somebody.
No,
Goodness gracious.
We're not trying to expose nobody. There's no negative energy.
We're not putting any. Yeah. Even the person I was talking about, like, in my video, there's no negative energy there. Like, I have nothing against him or any issues with him despite that whole situation. We good. It's just, it happened, and don't tell my tale.
Like, that's my whole reason for doing this video. Like, it's just a story. Like,
and telling
it's just
her
a part
side,
of my life that happened that I want to share.
And it helps you guys understand her. Like, it's a part of, it was part of her experience. That's what the whole thing is about.
And so if you guys have been keeping up with me since I posted that video last year, now you know what was really going on with me that I didn't expose to the world back then, but I was ready to say.
And it shows maturity, because when you're upset, you could have easily gotten on there and be like,
I could have recorded a video the day everything went down, but I didn't.
Honestly.
But
growth. Amen for growth. Hallelujah.
Yeah, because yes, growth.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much I could say about that, but not in this video.
Yeah.
So that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Leave comments below because I really want to know you guys' thoughts. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload. And also head over to Cherishing Flo's channel. Subscribe to her, notification bell, all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.